Hey guys, I've gotten 2 orders in the past day, so I'm going to pack them with you guys. So our first order is for Lily. She got 5 mystery candy singles, so here's my packaging. I'm going to pick that out right now. So here are the 5 singles that I'm going to give her, and then I also have a couple freebies to give her, of course. So those are the freebies, and I've also added in a couple really cute beads in there, including dinosaurs and stars. So we're going to seal that up, and then it'll be on its way ASAP. So next order is for Della. She ordered 1-star candy cuff in the yellow and orange variety, and I'm restocking these today, so keep an eye out. I just gotta make some more. Here are her freebies. That says ooze, by the way. It's upside down, my bad, but those are her freebies. And here's me packing her star cuff. I wrapped it in some parchment so that it doesn't get any doesn't get damaged. I doubt it will. But yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting my business, and thank you for all the love.
China, what the race to China, just a race to China.
Where's Latrell? On the dance floor.
What I do is I just go like this, put it around my fanny pack.
Guess who got a dog collar from Amazon? Honestly, that tip is such a lifesaver, but the only thing I was worried about is since it was loose on both ends, that I might be clumsy and I might drop all my candy. So to prevent that from happening, I grabbed a choker that I just had on hand that also buckles, and I put it through the little metal thing on the dog collar, and I hooked that part up to my hydro, like so. And then the other part. So now when I unbuckle it, I just have to hold it from one end, and I can grab the candy off from the other end.
You guys how to make the little candy jellyfishes. You just need some jewelry cord and some beads and some scissors. I say you need about this much cord, maybe a little bit more, we'll see. I'm going to make a rainbow jellyfish to show the different layers, but you don't have to. First, we're going to put 3 beads onto our string and tie off. I triple knot it just so it's super tight, but you can just do as many as you're comfortable with. Oh my God. And then cut the extra string off. Then we're going to take our string and go through 1 bead, it just to hide the knot on it. So it should look like that. Next, we're going to put 1 bead in each of these sides here. So string 1 bead, go through, string through, string through. So we're going to put 1 bead, string, pull through, and then repeat that. All right, we're stringing the last bead. I don't use a thread or a bead needle or thread needle, whatever people use. I just do it with my hand. It is a little bit more difficult, but I think it's not an issue. But this is what it should look like at the end. Then we're going to go ahead and string through this top bead as well. All right, with our string coming out this end here, and we have our triangle, make sure you pull it pretty tight. We're going to add 3 beads and then string through the top, 3 beads, skip, string, 3 beads, string. Okay, I hope that makes sense. We'll show you. Okay, we're going to take our 3 beads, string through this next point, oh my gosh, and pull tight. And then we're going to do that again 2 more times. This is what it should look like after you string it through there. Now, what we're going to do next is add a single bead into these corners here to make a full circle around the purple, right? So we need to string through 1, 2, and 3 and get that point right there. So it should look like this. Next, we're going to add 1 bead, go through all 3 of these, add a bead, go through all 3 of these, and then add a bead and go through, and then we'll meet you back at the end. So we added a bead, and then we're going to string it through all 3 of these. So when we pull it, it's just making that circle for us. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Okay, we just added our last bead and now we're going to string through the next 4. So string through that first 3 and then, okay, you see how hard it is without the needle, but it is possible, I swear. I do it all the time. Okay, like sometimes if you get your thread twisted, just pull it. You've got this. So now we should have a full circle around our purple. You don't have to pull super tight or anything. I just keep it structured basically. And what we're going to do next is we're going to add 3 beads and string through 6 different sides. So it's going to be those ones, but I'll show you 2 of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to string 3 beads and then go through right there. We're just going to skip 1 bead and go through the next one. The only thing about not using a thread needle, once it gets like this, the top of the string, you just want to trim it so it's easier to put through the beads. So now we're going to repeat that 5 times. Okay, I just stringed my last 3. Now with this next one, we're not just going to go through this one. We need to get it back to that point again. So we're going to go through the next 3 beads or next 2 beads out of that original one you're going into. And you should get this star shape. I hope you guys are following. Next, we're going to string 3 beads and put them through all of the points of those stars that we just created. So string 3 beads, go through the star, and it should make a circle. You're going to repeat that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. Now, when we're stringing the last one, we're going to go through that middle green one right there and pull through and then string the next 2 beads too to get us back to that point. As you can see, and this is why I recommend doing different colors, it's really adding 3 at a time and you're always kind of going through that middle one of the colors. It really makes it super simple. Okay, the next step is to add 3 more beads and we're going to go through those middle points again, but this time on that last layer we did. So mine's the yellow as you can see, but we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, we just strung our last 3 beads. Then we're going to go through, and just like the last layer, we're going to go through 2 more times to get us back to that point. Now, if you pull it too tight, it's going to start forming all the way covered. That's not bad. It's just about the shape of the jellyfish you're going for. I like more of the open look, but you can do a more like structured one as well. But for the next step, we're going to add 4 beads and go through those points again. So not 3 this time. I'm going to actually tie off a little bit more string because I underestimated it. And tying on some new string is just as simple as tying 2 of the strings together. Pull pretty tight. I double knot it, but you could do more. Okay, so we're going to take 4 beads and then go through that next 3 point or the last 3 points we put on, but we're going to put it through the middle. So it should do that, and then we're going to do that all the way around just like the same. Okay, we strung our last 4 beads and then we're just going to go through that last orange bead that I'm using, but whatever color you're using, that one right there, and we're going to go ahead and tie off. I usually go through the bottom and then just through and through. I hope that made sense. Now I don't want it to be super crazy tight here, so I'm just going to open it a little bit. It's still going to be pretty hooded, but that top jellyfish shape. But you're going to want to tie this off at least 2 to 3 times. And you have officially completed the top of the jellyfish. Next, you're going to get 3 individual strings about that long. These are going to be the tentacles. So if you look on my blue layer, I have these points. So if you look at the ones in 3, so 1, 2, and 3, that is where we're going to actually put our tentacles. So string through there and then go ahead and slide these under and pull from the other side pretty tight so it covers that on the outside. So now we're going to put 12 beads on to our tentacle. And when we're doing it, we're going to put them through both of the strings. So as you see, we put both bead and just let it slide all the way down. I'm going to pull it just to make sure it goes all the way to that end down there, but 12 beads. And then we're going to take 1 single bead and go through one of the strings, and then we're just going to tie off. So when we tie off, you don't want to make it super tight because you want to give it tension, but it's going to kind of let it do that. After I do the first one pretty loose is when we can tie the second one off a lot tighter. And I triple knot it and then cut off the excess, and then boom, we have tentacle 1 done. So then we're going to take that next string that we got And we went through this one last time, so we're just going to move over and go through this one over here. Remember, push it through to the bottom so that we can work with it. So just like the last one, we're going to string through both of these strings until we have 12 beads on. And then on that last bead, the 13th, remember one string and tie off. All right, and then we just tie off and cut the excess. And then for our last tentacle, as you can guess, probably it's the same method. Put it through that last of the 3 and then put it through to the other side so we can use it. It helps on this side if you make them the same length and then kind of just push them together so you're able to put these beads on a little bit easier when you're putting it through both, like that. And on that last bead again, just to make sure, put it only through one of the strings and then tie off. Again, I tied the first one loose, then the next 2 pretty tight. And so when we cut off, we have a completed jellyfish. Something you absolutely do not have to do, but I like to do, is add a circle to the top so it's easier for me to kind of carry around, or if I give it to people, it's a little bit easier to not just hand them an object. But I make a circle like so, and then I usually double knot this. But then you have your little jellyfish. This one, obviously I pulled a little bit tighter, so it's a little bit more hooded. Now, if you don't pull as tight, you get more of this like open look, but good luck.